Rescuers are in a race against time, battling treacherous conditions to evacuate communities submerged by catastrophic flooding in Bangladesh and northeastern India. The relentless downpour has unleashed chaos, turning rivers on both sides of the border into raging torrents that have reached unprecedented levels. In Bangladesh alone, nearly 3 million people have been caught in the crossfire of nature's fury, with countless homes swallowed by the floodwaters, leaving desperate families clinging to rooftops as their last refuge. The country's disaster management ministry paints a grim picture. This is a crisis of staggering proportions. In neighboring India, the situation is equally dire. The state of Tripura has been hit hard, with official reports confirming the loss of at least 11 lives. The death toll in Bangladesh stands at 2, but the real tragedy is unfolding in the shadows. Tens of thousands of now homeless, seeking shelter wherever they can in makeshift relief camps. Over 64,000 people in Tripura alone have fled to these camps, their lives upended by unforgiving waters. Southeast Asia has been no stranger to devastating effects of heavy monsoon rains, but this year, the region is grappling with something far more sinister. Scientists are sounding the alarm, attributing the escalating severity of these disasters to the human-caused climate crisis. The floods and mudslides that have ravaged the region in recent months are not just acts of nature. They are harbingers of a future where extreme weather events become even more frequent and deadly. In the past few days, the border state of Tripura and districts in eastern Bangladesh have been pounded by relentless rainfall, with some areas receiving nearly 200 millimeters, about 8 inches of rain. This deluge has pushed rivers to their breaking points, and now 11 major rivers in Bangladesh are flowing above danger level, according to the country's flood forecasting and warning center. The situation is critical, and the worst may be yet to come. In the hard-hit Fenai district and Chattogram, a city in southeast Bangladesh, a full-scale rescue operation is underway. The military, alongside dedicated volunteers, is navigating the flood streets in boats, pulling people from waterlogged homes and guiding them to temporary shelters. Government buildings and schools have been repurposed to the house displaced, and more than 25,000 people are crammed into these makeshift camps, uncertain when or if they will ever return home. The water level remains perilously high, and while the rain has eased, the threat looms large. Kazi Piash, a 24-year-old resident of Finai, is living through a nightmare. When the flood waters rose to his neck, he and his family had no choice but to seek refuge on the roof of their one-story home. They've rigged a makeshift tent from tarpaulin, but it offers little comfort. There are 40 people huddled on 2 rooftops, including his pregnant sister-in-law, all waiting, shivering, and praying for rescue. "We have been on the rooftop for hours," Piash says, his voice trembling. "My body is shivering. Our phones won't have battery for long, so we need to get help quick." His words are a stark reminder of the human toll behind the statistics. Elsewhere, the scenes are equally harrowing. Video shows residents paddling through the murky, debris-strewn waters in canoes, their belongings strapped to their backs as they navigate what used to be their neighborhoods. The floodwaters have claimed entire streets, lapping at the roofs of homes, transforming once thriving communities into desolate, waterlogged wastelands. In the city of Comilla, the situation is reaching a critical juncture. The Gumati River, which has already swallowed rice paddies and farmland, is threatening to overrun its banks, putting thousands of lives at risk. Residents are terrified that the floodwaters will breach the levee protecting their homes, submerging the entire community within hours. Nazma Akhter, a mother of 2, is on the verge of abandoning her home but has nowhere to go. As local farmers and students desperately fortify the levee with bamboo sticks, leaves, and sand, fear and frustration are boiling over. Many residents, their lives turn upside down, point fingers across the border, blaming India for the flood. "Modi is totally responsible for this. They always try to harm us," says Muzammil, a 21-year-old student, reflecting the anger and despair that's sweeping through the region. Another resident, Shariful Islam, who has lived in the area for 25 years, is convinced that the flooding was triggered by India's decision to open a dam upstream. "This flood came from India because India opened a dam. If this water goes over, it will flood the whole area in Comilla City." India, however, has denied these accusations. The Ministry of External Affairs has issued a statement dismissing the claims, attributing the flooding to the heaviest rains of this year over the last few days. They assert that the dam's design ensures that water is released automatically when levels get too high, and that no gates were deliberately opened. Despite these assurances, the mistrust and tension between the two countries are palpable. As the region braces for more rain in the coming days, with forecasts predicting another 50 to 150 millimeters up to 6 inches of rainfall, the people of Tripura and eastern Bangladesh are left to wonder how much more they can endure. This is not just a battle against the elements. It is a fight for survival in the face of a challenging climate that shows no mercy.